Far end of town where the grickle grass grows and the wind bells smow and schmower when it goes. Not a creature stirring excepting for the crows on the street of the lifted Lorax. Grickle grass, street of the lifted Lorax. Grickle grass, somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was the Lorax, and why was it there? And why was it lifted and taken somewhere? From the far end of town, where the grickle grass grows. The old onceler lives there, ask him, he knows. You won't see the onceler, don't knock on his door. He stays in his lurkin, on top of the store. He lurks in his lurkum, cold under the roof, where he makes his own clothes out of myth-muffered moof. On special dank nights in August, he peeks out of his shutters, and sometimes he speaks. He'll tell you how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you, perhaps, if you're willing to pay. On the end of the rope, he lets down a tin pail. You've got to toss in 15 cents and a nail, and the shell of the great-great-grandfather snail. Then he pulls up the pail. He makes a most careful count to see if you've paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what you've paid him away in the snuff, in his secret strange hole in his grubulous gruff. Then he grunts.
I'll call you on my whisper-my-phone, for the secrets I tell you are for your ears alone.
Space phone.
Slip. Down slups a whisper-my-phone to your ear, and the old onceler's whispers are not very clear, since they have to come down through a snurgly hose, and he sounds as if he had smallish bees up his nose. Now I can tell you, he says with his teeth sounding gray, how the Lorax got lifted and taken away. It all started way back, such a long, long time back. Way back in the days when the grass was still green, and the pond was still wet, and the clouds were still clean, and the song of the Swami Swans rang out in space. One morning I came to this glorious place, and I first saw the trees, the truffula trees, the bright-colored tufts of the truffula trees, mile after mile in the fresh morning breeze. And under the trees I saw brown barbaloots, frisking about in their barbaloot suits, as they played in the shade and ate truffula fruits. From the rippleless pond came the comfortable sound of the humming fish humming while splashing around. But those trees, those truffula trees, all my life I've been searching for trees such as these. Touch of their tufts was much softer than silk, and they had the sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. I felt a great leap of the joy in my heart. I knew just what I'd do. I unloaded my cart. In no time at all, I had built a small shop. Then I chopped down a truffula tree with one chop. And with great skillful skill, and with great speedy speed, I took the soft tuft and I knitted a thneed. The instant I'd finished, I heard a gazump. I looked. I saw something pop out of the stump of the tree I chopped down. It was sort of a man. Describe him? That's hard. I don't know if I can. He was shortish, oldish, and brownish and mossy, and he spoke with a voice that was sharpish and bossy.
Mister?
He cried with his sawdusty sneeze.
I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees. For the trees have no tongues, and I'm telling you, sir, at the top of my lungs.
He was very upset and shouted and puffed.
What was that thing you've done and made out of my truffula tuft?
Look, Lorax, I said, there's no cause for alarm. I chopped just one tree. I'm doing no harm. I'm being quite useful. This thing is a thneed. A thneed's a fine something that all people need. It's a shirt, it's a sock, it's a glove, it's a hat. But it has other uses, yes, far beyond that. You can use it for carpets, for pillows, for sheets, or curtains, or covers for bicycle seats. The Lorax said,
Sir, you are crazy with greed. There's no one on earth that would buy this full thneed.
But the very next minute, I proved he was wrong. For just at that minute, a chap came along, and he thought that the thneed I had knitted was great. He happily bought it for $3.98. I laughed at the Lorax. You poor, stupid guy! You never can tell what some people buy.
I repeat,
Cried the Lorax.
I speak for the trees.
I'm busy, I told him. Shut up, if you please. I rushed across the room and in no time at all, built a radio phone. I put in a quick call. I called all my brothers and uncles and aunts and I said, listen here. Here's a wonderful chance for the whole Onceler family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast. Take the road at North Nitch. Turn left at Weehawking. Sharp right at South Stitch. And in no time at all, in the factory I built, the whole Onceler family was working full tilt. We were all knitting thneeds just as busy as bees to the sound of the chopping of truffula trees. Then, oh baby, oh, how my business did grow. Now chopping one tree at a time was too slow. So I quickly invented my super axe hacker, which whacked off 4 truffula trees in one smacker. We were making thneeds 4 times as fast as before, and that Lorax, he didn't show up no more. But the next week, he knocked on my new office door. He snapped,
I am the Lorax, who speak for the trees, which you seem to be chopping as fast as you please. But I'm also in charge of the brown babaloots, who played in the shade in the babaloot suits, and happily lived eating truffula fruits. Now, thanks to you smacking my trees to the ground, there's not enough truffula for babaloots are getting the crummies, because they have gas and no food in their tummies. They love living here, but I can't let them stay. They'll have to find food, and I hope that they may. Can sing who's got smog in their throat. And so,
said the Lorax.
please pardon my call. I cannot live here. So I'm sending them all. Where they will go, I don't really know. They may have to fly for a month or a year to escape the smog that you've clogged up around here. Oh, and what's more,
Snapped the Lorax. His dander was up.
let me say a few words about Gluppity-Glup. Your machinery chugs on all day and night without stop, making gluppity-glop and schluppity-slop. And what do you do with this leftover goo? Why, I'll tell you, you dirty old Onceler man, you. You're climbing up the pond where the humming fish hum. No more can they hum, for their gills are all gum. I'm sending them off, oh, their future is dreary. They'll have to walk on their fins and get woefully weary in search of some water that isn't so smeary. I hear things are just as bad up in Lake Erie.
And then I got mad. I got terribly mad. I yelled at the Lorax, "Now listen here, Dad. All you do is yap yap and say bad, 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 bad." Well, I have my rights, sir, and I'm telling you, I intend to go on doing just what I do. For your information, you Lorax, I'm biggerin' and biggerin' and biggerin', turning more truffula trees into thieves, which everyone needs. And at that very moment, we heard a loud whack. From outside in the fields came a sickening smack of an axe on a tree. Then we heard the tree fall, the very last truffula tree of them all. No more trees, no more thieves, no more work to be done. So in no time, my uncles and aunts, everyone, all waved me goodbye. They jumped into my cars and drove away under the smoke-sucked, smuggered stars. Now all that was left beneath the bad-smelling sky was my big empty factory, the Lorax, and I. The Lorax said nothing. Just gave me a glance, just gave me a very, very sad backward glance as he lifted himself by the seat of his pants. And I'll never forget the grim look on his face when he hoisted himself and took leave of this place, through a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. And all that the Lorax left here in this mess was a small pile of rocks with the one word, unless. Whatever that meant, well, I just couldn't guess. That was a long time ago. But each day since that day, I've sat here and worried away. Through the years, while my buildings have fallen apart, I've worried about it with all my heart. But now, says the Onceler, now that you're here, the word of the Lorax seems perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing's gonna get better. It's not. So, catch, calls the Onceler. He lets something fall. It's a truffula seed. It's the last one of all. You're in charge of the last truffula seeds. And truffula trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new truffula, treat it with care. Give it clean water and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest, protect it from axes that hack. Then the Lorax and all of his friends may come back.
Go up and introduce yourselves. You guys did an awesome job. Go. Stacy, you should go.
A big round of applause for Stacy Romberg, making us all happy.
Rambo!
I hope you guys realize that what we did was very simple and low-key, but it's what the Lorax is a very simple message. And that's it right there, so I hope we can all remember that someday when there's nothing else to remember.